If you're watching this, something in you has already started to unravel. Maybe it came as a quiet whisper, a sudden collapse, or an overwhelming sense that none of this makes sense anymore. You feel like a stranger in your own life, but beneath the confusion, there's a pull, ancient, magnetic, undeniable. You're not broken. You're not lost. You're waking up. This is not just self-help. This is ancient. Spiritual awakening isn't a trend. It's encoded in the architecture of your soul. From Gnostic initiations to Hermetic transmutations, from the Upanishads to modern quantum thought, awakening is a system, a sequence, and you're in it now. In this video, we'll explore the 7 esoteric stages of awakening. Not the Instagram version, but the one hidden in temples, buried in myths, and whispered by mystics who knew reality isn't what it seems. Stay until the end, because the final stage is something very few have glimpsed. But once you do, you can never unsee it. Stage 1. The cracking open. The shock of the unreal. This stage doesn't feel sacred. It feels like dying. It begins subtly, or violently. A job loss, a heartbreak, the death of a loved one. Sometimes nothing happens at all, just a creeping hollowness that infects every moment. What used to satisfy you begins to taste like ash. This is what the ancient Sufis called fana al-nafs, the annihilation of the false self. In modern psychology, they might call it a midlife crisis or derealization. But mystics knew this rupture was sacred. The Gnostics described it as the moment when Sophia cries out from within the soul. The divine spark realizing it has been trapped in illusion. The world is suddenly theater. The roles you played, the identities you wore, they crack. And behind them, silence. Signposts, intense dissatisfaction, identity crisis, existential depression, rejection of old belief systems, a sense that you've been asleep. Hidden truth. This is a blessing in disguise. The false self must fracture before the true self can be revealed. What feels like chaos is sacred initiation. Stage 2. The Seeker's High. The ascent into light. After the rupture, there comes the rush, a euphoric intoxication with truth. You dive into ancient books, watch hours of YouTube on chakras, dimensions, soul contracts. Synchronicities flood your life, repeating numbers, prophetic dreams, bizarre coincidences that whisper, you are on the path. You might start seeing the world as alive again. Trees breathe, strangers feel like mirrors. Meditation reveals things you can't explain to anyone. This is what the Hermeticists called the luminous descent, when the soul remembers fragments of its divine origin and hungers to return. In the Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day, the initiate is led by Thoth through realms of light after death. This is that moment, but in life. But beware, this stage is seductive. The ego, clever as ever, loves to rebuild itself as the spiritual one. It swaps status symbols for crystals. It judges those who aren't awake. It hoards enlightenment like a possession. Signposts, obsessive consumption of spiritual content, awe and euphoria, divine synchronicities, early psychic phenomena, forming a spiritual identity. The seeker can become addicted to seeking. As Ram Dass said, "You can get high, but do you stay high? Or do you come down and integrate?" True awakening begins when you let go of even the need to awaken. Stage 3. The dark night of the soul. Purification through fire. This is the part no one posts about on Instagram. After the initial euphoria, the silence returns. But this time, it's deafening. Nothing feels real. Nothing brings joy. You may feel abandoned by the universe. Meditations that once lit you up now feel hollow. You question everything, even your sanity. God, why have you forsaken me? This isn't just poetic, it's archetypal. Even Christ had his dark night. So did the Buddha, under the Bodhi tree, attacked by Mara. In Sufi mysticism, this is the desert of the heart. In alchemical terms, it's the nigredo, the blackening, the burning away of all illusions, all attachments, all crutches. The soul is reduced to ash, so it can rise anew. The Gnostics described this as the soul wandering the lower aeons, facing shadows it once denied. Carl Jung called it shadow integration. But few realize this isn't just inner work, it's ego death disguised as depression. You're being emptied, because only the empty cup can receive divine wine. Signposts: deep loneliness, loss of meaning, apathy, spiritual burnout, confusion, despair. Feels like backsliding, but is actually a descent into the roots of your psyche. Sacred key: don't run, don't numb it, go deeper, let the fire consume. Because just beyond this stage is something sacred. Stage 4. The surrender. Letting go of the illusion of control. You don't fight your way out of the dark night. You melt. This stage is marked not by action, but by a quiet collapse. You stop trying to fix yourself. You stop clinging to higher vibrations. You stop praying for things and begin praying to remember. And this shift is everything. This is what the Tao Te Ching describes when it says, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." You begin to trust your inner knowing. You stop chasing signs. You stop needing answers. You stop outsourcing truth to books, gurus, or AI. Stillness becomes your teacher. Some days you may cry for no reason and feel gratitude in the same breath. Other days, you simply watch the sky and feel more alive than you ever did at your peak, high vibe moments. In the Hindu Upanishads, this is called Turiya, the fourth state of consciousness, where the self watches all other states like a mirror. There's a subtle humility here, a deep, wordless peace that doesn't need to be understood. You begin to walk through life like a monk in a marketplace. The world is still loud, but it no longer controls you. Signposts: letting go of spiritual ambition, spontaneous joy or silence, increased presence, intuitive living, trust in not knowing. Secret insight: the self is not found through effort, but remembered through stillness. Surrender is not weakness. It's alignment with the highest frequency in the universe. Stage 5. Integration, walking between worlds. This is the moment the mystical becomes practical. You're no longer escaping into the spiritual. You're grounding it. Enlightenment is no longer a mountaintop experience. It's in the dishes you wash, the breath you take, the words you don't say. You begin to realize that all those bad habits, triggers, and wounds weren't obstacles to awakening. They were the curriculum. In Kabbalah, this is called tikkun, the repair of the soul through embodied experience. The ancients knew the highest alchemy wasn't about escaping this world, but transforming it from within. This is the gold phase of alchemy, rubedo, the reddening. The soul becomes real. You might find yourself setting boundaries for the first time, saying no to toxic patterns. You become more authentic, not because it's trendy, but because your nervous system won't let you lie anymore. Relationships change. Some fall away, others deepen beyond words. You might even attract people asking you questions you once asked yourself. The mirror flips, as within, so without. Signposts, stable emotional presence, holistic healing, mind, body, soul, true empathy, discernment, simplicity. You begin doing less, but being more. Hidden layer. This stage tests whether your awakening is integrated or performative. Are you truly walking your truth, or just playing another role? The world is not your enemy now. It's your canvas. Stage 6. Soul purpose. The fire that cannot be extinguished. At this stage, something ancient awakens in you. It's not a job. It's not a title. It's not even a mission in the traditional sense. It's a fire. Unreasonable, undeniable, unshakable. You don't choose your purpose. It chooses you. In ancient Egypt, this was called the Ba, the unique soul vibration you were born to embody. In Vedic traditions, it's your Dharma. In modern language, we'd say, you've stopped searching and started serving. You may begin channeling creativity you don't recognize. Synchronicities guide your work. You no longer create for validation. You create to transmit. Life becomes ritual. Even rest becomes sacred. You're no longer driven by fear or proving something. You're pulled by a higher current. And when the ego tries to hijack it, life reminds you, this isn't yours, you're a vessel. At this level, challenges still arise. But now, they're like training weights, not punishments. Each hardship chisels you into a clearer instrument of truth. Signposts, flow states, selfless creativity, life rearranging around a calling, deep reverence for daily life, magnetism that draws others to you. Esoteric truth. The soul's purpose isn't something you do. It's a frequency you hold. Others will feel it, and some will follow. Stage 7. Unity, becoming the mystery. This is the most elusive, ineffable stage. Many glimpse it, few stabilize it, even fewer speak of it, because there are no words. You have pierced the veil of the I. The mirror is gone. There is no observer and observed. There is only isness. In Advaita Vedanta, this is non-duality. The realization that all division is illusion. You are not a wave in the ocean. You are the ocean, momentarily appearing as a wave. The Sufi mystic Al-Hallaj whispered, Ana al-Haq, I am the truth, and was executed for it. But he wasn't speaking ego. He was speaking from this final realization. You are not in the universe. You are the universe, dreaming itself through a human form. In Tibetan Dzogchen, this is known as Rigpa, the pristine awareness behind all thought. It is not something you achieve. It is something you've always been. The mind cannot grasp this. That's the point. You stop asking for signs. You stop chasing healing. You realize there is no more path, because the path was a spiral returning you to this, the sacred moment that was always here. At this stage, paradoxes become home. You are nobody and everything. You are empty and overflowing. You are dying and eternal. Some people live here permanently, monks, saints, mystics, but most of us touch it, briefly, fleetingly, and return with a new lens. Even one glimpse changes everything. You might still pay bills, laugh, cry, dance, get stuck in traffic, but beneath it all is a golden silence, a knowing smile behind your eyes. You become a presence more than a person. Signposts, timeless awareness, ego translucency, spontaneous compassion, freedom from grasping, radiant stillness, inner and outer synchronicity merge, ultimate truth. There is no final arrival, just deeper dissolving. The mystery doesn't need to be solved. It needs to be lived. If you found this video, you're likely somewhere on this spiral. Maybe you're cracking open. Maybe you're surrendering. Maybe you're integrating. Or maybe you've glimpsed the infinite. Wherever you are, trust this. You're not late. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're waking up exactly how your soul intended. This journey isn't linear. It loops, spirals, stretches, and folds upon itself like sacred geometry. You might return to earlier stages again and again, not because you failed, but because the spiral deepens. Watch this again if you need to, or sit with the one line that hit your heart like a tuning fork. Let it echo. And if you want more videos like this, where we go deeper than the surface, welcome to Mirror Mastery. This isn't just a channel, it's a portal for those who are done sleeping. You are not who you think you are. You are more